Hi, I'm Casey, and I just want to tell you a little story about a project I created a few years ago in my spare time. But before I get started, I'd like to give you a little taste about what it's about.
Dead ahead. Might be our little arcade. Hit the accelerator.
So, little taste. First of all, I love videos. I've been fortunate enough to be involved in the video space for quite a while. I worked at Vimeo for 3 years. I created the video player. Later, I moved on to Boxy to help bring web video to your TVs. And then I love video so much that I created my own site with my co-founder, Jamie Wilkinson. That's basically video social discovery, where you can watch what your friends are watching and a TV-like experience, so you should check it out. And then I also love crowdsourcing, the act of getting a bunch of people together to work on a common task to either solve a problem or create something. And one of the first projects I saw a few years ago was by this guy, Aaron Koblin, where he asked people to basically draw a sheep for a couple cents facing the left, and he gathered thousands of different kinds of sheep. Another one of his projects, he split a $100 bill into tiny little sections and asked people to redraw that section, and he stitched it back together to recreate the $100 bill. These are really cool, but in my opinion, there's something missing. Something's not sticky enough to make me want to go back to it, and it's missing Michael Jackson. And what I mean by that is that when you take a new concept like crowdsourcing and you combine it with something more familiar, pop culture or Michael Jackson, it's a win. And so there's this one project called the White Glove Tracking Project where the debut video, the moonwalk, was split into individual frames. And then people were asked to draw a yellow box around Michael Jackson's glove. And what this did was give a data set of knowing where Michael's hand is throughout the entire video. So a bunch of video artists created these fun filters giving Michael a giant white glove. Or put his hand on fire. And lots of this funny abstract things. But I was really fascinated by this one particularly. And if you start going back and classifying these crowdsourcing projects, you can put in these groups. These three I showed you are example low effort, low reward. You put a little work into it and you get some sort of monetary value back, or you have some sort of gratification of the end result. And then Google created the image labeler, where you can join in a room with some random partner on the internet, and you start tagging a photo if you both guess what the items are in the photo. So in this photo, there's a rock, then both people get points. So they turned it into a game and made it sort of rewarding to classify all images on the internet. And then there's a Netflix prize where Netflix offered $1 million for someone to create a better movie suggestion algorithm. So as I was working at Vimeo, I was also thinking about how can I get people to create a video together. And then finally this question was in the back of my head for a while: how can I get people to create a feature-length film? And I realized the simplest way to do it is just to split a film into pieces and dish it out to people. And then thus Star Wars Uncut was born. It's a really simple site. I created it in a few days. And it was just a simple paragraph, a list of thumbnails from the entire movie. There are 15-second scenes. There's 473 total. You choose one. You can watch the original clip to see if you like it. Here's an example. So as you're watching this, think about how you might recreate the scene yourself.
by.
Red 3 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
And then here's a recreation.
All wings reporting.
Red 10 standing by.
Red 7 standing by.
Red 3 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
And here's one more.
All wings report in.
Red 10 standing by.
Red 7 standing by.
Red 3 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
As you see, you can see the amount of creativity that went into this is amazing, and the work. And people always ask me, why Star Wars? And I always say, I mean, didn't you know that it's super popular? But I also am a fan of Star Wars as well. I'm a little biased. But if you do a quick Google Trend search, Jesus is only slightly more popular than Star Wars. And Star Wars is also way more popular than literature and politics. And also, what about Star Trek? For you Trekkie fans, way more popular than Star Trek. So the fan base of Star Wars is just amazing. It's just a rabid community. And it's not just in our country, it's all over the world. And if you can look at the stats of Star Wars Uncut, scenes were submitted from all over the world. There's almost 1,000 scenes submitted. And if you go back and look at all the crowdsourcing projects I mentioned, they have this directly proportional scale, where from difficulty versus reward. But when you throw Star Wars Uncut into this mix, Star Wars is way off the charts. It doesn't really make sense. People are putting hours and hours of work into this, and I realized that they're just excited to be in this end film, but not only to be in the end film, but to do the work. They're just excited to be in the universe. And I like to say it's no longer crowdsourcing; this is community sourcing. I found a very powerful community that wanted to work on something together. And then I got a call about 2 years ago in 2010 saying that I could apply Star Wars Uncut to the Emmys. I'm like, what are you talking about? How's this possible? And they informed me that technically Star Wars Uncut is a made-for-broadcast production. And what that means is that technically this is something I could put on the TV. And so with that in mind, I could apply to the Emmys. I could make a quick Emmy reel, 5-minute sizzle reel, showing off what Star Wars Uncut is. And in 2010, I won a Primetime Emmy. And what's really cool about this is that we beat Dexter and Glee on a $0 budget. And it's also the first time a website for online-only production has won an Emmy. And what this really means is that it just shows that it's starting to encourage more open production distribution for TV and film. And you're probably wondering about this guy. I still have yet to see my check. But no, we're on good terms, and they are totally in support of Star Wars Uncut, and happy to have their support. And you can check out Star Wars Uncut, starwarsuncut.com, and see the latest. And before I wrap up here, if you want to see a part of the film later today, we're showing off probably about half of it during lunch today. But before we get into it, I want to show you, since I have a little time left, I want to show you some more Star Wars Uncut scenes.
There's one, set for start. She'll be all right. Inform Lord Vader we have a prisoner.
Hey, you're not permitted in there. It's restricted. You'll be deactivated for sure. Don't you call me a mindless philosopher, you overweight glob of grease. Now come on before somebody sees you. Secret mission? What plans? What are you talking about? I'm not getting in bed. I'm going to regret this.
there goes another one.
Hold your fire. There's no life forms. It must have short-circuited.
That's funny. The damage doesn't look as bad from out here. Are you sure this thing is safe?
Thank you.